guys, Yaza here with freebodydanceclasses.com, and this is probably one of the most important videos I'll post about fan veils, which is the most asked questions about fan veils. So the most asked questions I personally get, and I think a lot of dancers get, a lot of instructors get, is, are the following. There's a lot of them, okay? So one of the first ones is, how long should my fan veil be? Okay? Well, that depends. First of all, and I would say this very confidently, it depends on your height. The shorter you are, the shorter the fan veil you want. And the taller you are, the longer the fan veil you want. So the problem here is, a lot of the fan veils, especially the cheap ones that come with like the cheap fabric, you know, like this, not silk ones, they kind of come in a standard form, so you kind of have to adjust them to your height. But before you do that, before you grab the pair of scissors and start chopping, you know, your fan veils, be very careful of the following. You sometimes are going to have a much more luck or more fun also performing some of the moves with longer fan veils. Like for example, these fan veils, I am 5'1", so I'll tell you that. I'm short, I'm very short, but all standards I'm actually very short. 5'1" is really, I think it's considered short. So these fan veils, I don't know how long they are, but I don't care. But if I have to like put it right above my head, they are about my length. Okay? Do you see that, you guys? They're like right on the ground. So that means if I get the top part flat, completely flat, and I put them right above my head, they're exactly about my length. I like this. This is not a problem for me. Okay? The reason is because some of the moves they're gonna feel long, and some of the other moves they're gonna feel a little bit too short. It depends. But overall, they tend to feel a little longer than I want them to be, but I don't mind that because some of the moves I kind of prefer them to be longer. So overall, if they are right about your head length like this, they're okay. Which means they're gonna feel longer to you sometimes, but they're gonna feel okay sometimes. The times they're gonna feel okay are the times where you're gonna have to hold them with one arm, like this, or the times where you're gonna spin with them because they're gonna wrap around your body, you know? Like if you want to kind of wrap around your body like this, and they're gonna come off the floor, you're gonna love that about them. So the point is, you can have shorter veils if you want to than your actual height. So you put them right above your head and you create like what I like to call the hat, and you probably have seen that in my other videos. There's a video what I call this, the hat move, where like all my veils behind me, right? And then the rest of my fan was in front of me like this, and I call this the hat move. So if you like the hat move, then what I suggest is, if you put the rest of your veil right behind you, it should come out shorter than your height. If you put the hat on top of your head, and then you throw the rest of your veil in front of you, it should be exactly the same width as you are. Do you see that? So the rest of my veil barely kind of tips over the floor. That means it's about my height once the veil is on top of my head, or once the fan part is on top of my head. I'm okay with it personally with that width. I know a lot of belly dancers are not. So you guys gotta find what's comfortable to you and what's most importantly what's important to you. As I told you, having a fan that's about this width for me is important only for two moves. Things when I like to hold the rest of the fan or the rest of the veil fan with my arm, and then the times where I like to spin. But in a lot of other movements, this is going to feel a little bit too long for your body. So if you feel that that's not worth it for you, I would say grab a pair of scissors and cut it to whatever you want it to be. Okay? So that's first rule. The second rule is about the width. How wide do you want it to be? Because we just talked about the length. How wide do you want it to be? So this is about kind of like, I don't know what I call this. I call this about medium size. Okay? For me, a medium size means that it comes about wider than my body, because I am again of a smaller frame. So if it comes kind of like, this is the middle, this is the middle of my chest, and it comes about this, I can still hold it with my arms just fine. When I put my hands in the middle and I kind of grab it, I'm fine with the grip. You know, you're gonna feel that. You guys gotta try them. There are some that are smaller than this, and some that are about the same size. This is called more of a medium size, and some that are about wider than this. So when you grab it and you hold on to it, you're gonna feel like, oh my God, this is too long for me. So if you feel that way, then maybe it's not for you, okay? If you feel like, oh, I can grab this is fine. Oh, it's a little long. Oh, it's okay. So if you can have a good grip to it, like when you hold it, but still kind of maybe feels a little bit long when it falls on the ground, that's okay, you can work with it. And then you can spin with it. You know, so the length is not much of an issue compared to the width. If you can grab onto it with your thumb on the side like this, and then the top of your, this is the thumb, right? Okay. So your small index finger kind of grabbing the side like this and pressing it with your, with the rest of your arm like this, which about like your, I don't know what you call this, you guys, but this is like your, the bottom of your palm, I would call it. So if you can press like this, okay, so your middle index finger grabs on the one side, presses on the other side, the thumb presses up on the opposite side, and then the other finger, this one, kind of pushes this way. If you can do this, you get a good grip. Okay, let me try that one more time a little bit closer. So this is my fan. So when I open it, my small finger, the smallest finger I have, can pull up, okay, the back of my hand, this one, okay, can press against the top part or the bottom part. So I like to call this the bottom part of my fan, okay. My thumb can press up against the other side of the fan, and then this one, I don't know what you call this one, okay, can push against the middle, the center part. Okay, if you can push with this one, put my thumb up, my index holding the other side, the bottom of my palm pressing against it all, I have a good grip. So this is how it's supposed to look like from this side. Okay, from the other side, this is how it's supposed to look like, you guys. So my thumb is pressing up, okay. The rest of my arm is, my hand is kind of relaxed and flat, okay? But on the other side, as you can see, is where really the magic happens, which is my index finger, which is the smallest finger I have. I could be wrong about the name of this finger. Remember, you guys, I'm not American, so I don't know a lot of the names of these words. But the smallest finger, which is, I believe, is my index finger, I put it on at the end of the edge here, which pushes up here, okay? And then this one pushes up the middle section that holds all of the pieces of wood together, and that keeps everything stable. So if you have this kind of grip on this side and then this kind of grip on this side, I think you're doing okay. Okay, so that's another rule. So remember my rules about the fan veils. The number one rule, okay, is open, middle of index, or the index presses up, thumb presses up, the other finger presses up to the side, and then push up and then hold. Okay, so that is basically how you hold a fan veil. Okay, now another rule is if you bought a fan veil, one of the things that you're going to notice, you guys, is this: there's two parts, or there's a little bit of the edge of the fan itself. And then the rest is a veil, okay? The edge of the fan itself is going to show here with some of the bits of the fan itself, okay? Okay, so here's what I want you to know. The edges of the fan should be always facing you. What faces the audience is the other side. You know, the clean, straight, perfect side, okay? And that doesn't matter whether it's a right-handed or left-handed. So for me, I'm right-handed here. I'm going to grab my fan, my right fan, so the rest of the fan, you know, this edge of the fan faces me, okay? Same thing on the left side. It doesn't matter that it's a left side. The edge of the fan, you see that? Okay, that has to face me. I know there's so many different rules and so many belly dancers will teach you different things, but I honestly strongly believe that this is the best way to do it. So the edge of the fans, as you can see here, are both facing me. And so what faces the audience is the other perfect side. You see that? Okay. So that is basically how you want to hold the fan. So that's number one thing. So again, go back. Number one rule, the width is put it on your head, and then the bottom of it should touch the floor. Second thing, the width. The width, you want to be able to just be able to hold it just fine. Push it with your index and then with your thumb up. Okay? Third rule is how to hold it is make sure that the inside of the fan faces you. Okay? Rather than facing outside or the audience, because then it's kind of like one of those things you don't want to see. And then the other final rule that usually we like to remind people of is the see-through effect and the fabric, which kind of go together in a way. So with the see-through, do you want it to be see-through or not? Well, it depends on what kind of performance you're trying to deliver. If you want a performance where you kind of like, you know, see through and kind of like see your audience, you know, doing things, then yeah, get a see-through fabric. If that's not that important to you, then don't. So really, that's the only factor that kind of decides whether you want to see through or not. The other factor is the type of fabric. Oh boy, and there's a lot of argument about this one. Is it silk or is it something else? Okay, well, silk. Let's talk about that. Silk fabric, when it comes to fan veils, I'm not a fan of silk fabric in general, whether it comes to fan veils or just simple veils. Simply because, well, I like it for certain things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like against it or anti, you know, or anti-silk. I'm not like that. But I think they're kind of like too expensive for what they are. So if you are the kind of person that cannot afford them, then you don't really need to feel that you have to buy them. That's basically my point. But if you have wrist problems or shoulder problems, you have any shoulder injuries, or you're really not strong, you know, you don't have strong shoulder movements, then I would advise you to get, you know, silk. And the reason I advise you to get that is because silk tends to flow on its own and it's a lot lighter, so you don't have to feel like you have to really work your shoulder muscles and you have to really take it the right and the left, you know, because it kind of moves really easily and a lot faster. So even if you have weak muscles in your entire body, it will still flow very beautifully and it will create the right effect that you want. But if you like to get a workout and you like to control your veil and know exactly which direction it's moving, I would definitely advise you to guys get either like a, you know, get other fabric. I don't care what kind of fabric it is. Just, you don't have to invest in a silk fabric, whether it's veil or fan veil. So the type of fabric will depend on what you're trying to create with your performance, okay? But the width and the length are definitely very important to your size and your body size, and that's something very important to kind of make sure you invest in. A lot of them, as I said, they come in kind of like a standard size sometimes, or standard fabric, so make sure you get whatever it is that you get in. But then once you grab it, as I said, the standard way to figure it out is just kind of put it right above your head like it's a hat, okay? And then look at the bottom of it. If it hits right the edge of the floor, you're fine. If it's way too long compared to the floor, you might want to grab a pair of scissors and give it a little cut, okay? To make it so it's just right on the edge of the fabric. Because being on the edge of the floor is actually long enough, that means actually it's kind of like longer for you. So if it's way longer than the edge of the floor, that means it's way longer for you and you really, really want to cut it down. So, but it's better to get like something that's longer for you than not. So anyways, I'm going to stop talking, but those are my basic rules when it comes to fan veils, or the basic rules that you want to remember, and as far as choosing what kind of fan veil you want to work with. So hopefully you get the right one. Hopefully you're going to find the right one if you haven't yet. And make sure you watch the other videos. There's plenty of videos, by the way, on our website, freebellydanceclasses.com, to learn how to do different moves and combos with the fan veil. So check them out when you get your fan veil. And I'll see you guys in the next video on freebellydanceclasses.com. Take care. Bye.